Hey everyone, and welcome to a Fire Emblem Heroes video. I've been making these videos for almost a year now, and to my surprise, I have not made a Lyn video. So to right a wrong, here's how to build Lyn. I'm going to go over her stats and skills as well as pointing out potential skills that can be used. After that, I'll show some cookie cutter builds and some more unique specialized builds. So let's begin.
Watch this!
Lyn is a sword infantry unit, a hard class to excel in. Her stats are base 28 attack hurts a lot, but she has good speed as well as solid mixed bulk. With a defense super boon, Lyn can take on a lot of different hits with her high HP, but you mainly want to get a plus attack Lyn. As for skills, Lyn is not that good. Divine attack is outclassed, inconsistent, and risky. Spur speed is also outclassed by dual spurs and drives. But what makes Lyn good is her weapon and special. Lyn's Soul Caddy has Desperation 2 built into it, and it worked well with Brash Assault in the B slot or Seal. Then they gave her a Refine. Now, Soul Caddy has Desperation 3 and Brash Assault 5, I think? Anyways, once Lyn is below 75% HP, she is guaranteed a follow-up attack on any foe that can counter and will attack before they can counterattack. This is disgustingly amazing. Lyn doesn't need to worry about having more speed since Brash Assault will give her the follow-up. Only problem is with Wary Fighter and Sword Breaker, but as long as Lyn has more speed, she will get the double and the desperation effect. Her special is Gale Force, which is very nice. Lyn can run Flashing Blade Seal and proc Gale Force pretty fast. There's also Astra before Gale Force, but the problem is Astra is best on units with high attack. Lyn doesn't have that high of an attack stat, but hey, Gale Force works fine. Lyn with Soul Caddy should be able to secure a victory and then proc Gale Force and hopefully take out 2 lives. Only problem with Gale Force is the long cooldown. It's pretty hard to proc Gale Force often without the help of other skills. Before I get into the builds, here are some suggestions for her skills. Death Blow, Sturdy Impact, Brazen Attack Speed, Wrath, Escape Route, Savage Blow, and more. Now for some builds. First few builds are cookie cutter builds, but the last builds are more unique and specialized. Here's some timestamps for your viewing pleasure. First build is the iconic Double Brazen Wrath Lyn. This is widely known as the best Lyn build, and that's fair to say. With Double Brazen active, Lyn will have 58 attack and 44 speed. Depending on your choice, Lyn will either have 33 defense with Brazen attack defense or 36 res with Brazen attack res. Personally, I think Brazen attack defense works best with Lyn since she's mostly going to fight melee units. If she happens to be within the enemy's range, then defense will be more helpful. However, Brazen attack res is more useful if Lyn is facing more dragons and close counter mages. It really depends on what type of foes you find more often and will need Lyn more for. As said before, Lyn doesn't have the best attack. That's why Wrath and Moonbow are perfect for her. Moonbow solves most of her problems with high defense units, and Wrath increases the damage output. Not to mention, when Wrath drops a cooldown and Lyn attacks with her Soul Caddy, she can proc Moonbow on the second hit. If you don't want to run Double Brazen, Quick Impulse is a good steal to give. It helps Lyn proc Moonbow faster, which is always nice. And a quick side note, I did mention that Lyn doesn't need to worry about speed since Soul Caddy takes care of that. So why is Brazen attack speed recommended? Well, it's mainly to take care of units with Sword Breaker, Wary Fighter, or units who use speed comparisons, like Flashing Blade. Lyn winning the speed contest will only be beneficial. Second build, the Cold Winds of Death. Death Blow is a lot cheaper and is one of the most consistent ace skills for Lyn. If you're not willing to run Brazen attack speed or you don't think you'll need the extra speed, then Death Blow is great. Death Blow 4 can be used too, but it's pretty expensive. The rest of the set is pretty standard: Reposition, Moonbow, Drive Skill. But Chill Defense is pretty out there, I guess. It increases her damage output and helps her against high defense units. If you're running Flashing Blade Seal, then you might want to use Chill Speed instead or use with Sparrow. With Flashing Blade and Soul Caddy, Lyn will be able to proc Moonbow on her second hit and hopefully defeat the foe. Third build, Angry Winds. Because of Lyn's mixed stats, Fury is a fantastic ace skill for her since she benefits from having all the stats being buffed. With 32 res now, Lyn can run Iceberg for some consistent damage as well as run Brazen attack res to boost it. Fury's recoil damage also helps Lyn get into Soul Caddy and Wrath range faster, which makes her more of a threat. Fury isn't a player phase skill, so Lyn can run both defensive and offensive sets. For defense, she can run attack defense spawn or close defense. If you are going for a defensive Lyn, then you can change Sokati to Slang Edge, Barrier Blade, or Safeguard. However, changing your weapon does take away the desperation effect, and if you still want to keep it, then Wrath might have to leave, which sucks since Fury and Wrath work very well together. Fourth build, Teleporting Wins. This is the set I use myself. I would run the double Brazen Wrath sets, but I don't have Wrath fodder. Anyways, Sokati is a player phase weapon and Lyn has the stats to be a player phase unit, so life and death is fantastic. Both Escape Route and Sokati require her to be under a certain HP threshold. Once she's under 50% HP, she can escape, use Sokati to the fullest, and allow Wings of Mercy dancers to come and help. Also, since Escape Route teleports her so she'll be adjacent to an ally, bond skills are perfect for that. Attack speed bond for more damage, or speed res bond for a bit more magic tanking. It's a little risky since Escape Route requires allies and is not as consistent as Wrath or Chill. Fifth build, Fiery Passion. With Lyn's high speed, Fire Sweep is to be expected. However, I don't think Fire Sweep is that good on Lyn. Fire Sweep users typically have good speed, which Lyn does have, but they also have strong attack, which Lyn struggles with. It's great that Lyn can double, but it's not great when she can't deal damage. It's like Olin with her sadly iconic 0x4. That aside, Fire Sweep works pretty well with Gale Force since Lyn can get her cooldown to drop free. Chill Speed and even Speed Wave help Flashing Blade get the cooldown to drop faster. If you don't think you need a Chill or Wave, you could run Poison Strike, Wings of Mercy, Savage Blow, Speed Smoke, or Defense Smoke. Sixth build, Green Haired IRA. IRA has a popular set with Slang Edge, Disencounter, Desperation, but this is a different kind of IRA. Lyn doesn't need to discard her weapon since it's so good and has Desperation built in. IRA's blade is pretty solid, but some people really like that -1 cooldown. Lyn also doesn't need to worry about getting a double since Brash Assault has got her back. Wrath will also decrease her cooldown like Slaying, but not as consistent. But it does provide a +10 pure damage, which makes up for Lyn's lack of damage compared to IRA. Personally, I think Lyn benefits a lot from using Disencounter more than IRA. Lyn has solid HP and res, which is a bit more useful. You're more likely to run into a strong magic range unit than a bow/dagger unit. 7th build, Winds of Resistance. With Wary Fighter, Odd Res Wave, and Close Defense, Lyn can get up to 49 res. I would recommend Ice Pick for her special, but Luna does have its perks since Lyn's attack is so low. And to add on to that, Wrath and Woda will fix that low attack. Pure damage does stack up, so Luna will be amazing for Lyn. She can tank and deal with high defense dragons, which is the main target for this set. The main synergy with this set is that Wrath would decrease the cooldown to 2, then once Lyn gets hit, Warding Breath would drop it by 2, and Lyn can proc Luna right after. If you're not running close defense, Fear Stance can also work too. 8th build, Winds of Mercy. With Lyn's sort of mixed stats, she can run all bonds very well since she benefits from having all the stats being buffed. To further increase that, Heart's Blade will give +3 to all of her stats when she's adjacent to an ally. That way, she'll get +8 to all of her stats. Wings of Mercy is always a good skill, and with these spawn skills together, it gets better. Lyn just teleports over and bam, she has all the stats she needs. Lyn can be a teleporting almost player phase unit, while also being an all-around solid defensive enemy phase unit. 9th build, Impactful Wins. This set is made to counter armor units, especially axe armors. With Armor Smasher and Sturdy Impact, Lyn can take on hits from armor units and deal super effective damage on them. Axe Breaker might seem redundant since Sturdy Impact prevents the follow-ups, but it's there for Surtur and Wary Fighter. So unless you have a Surtur or a Wary Fighter problem, you can just run Chills or maybe Wrath. Lyn doesn't have the best attack or defense, so that's why Sturdy Impact is so nice. She can easily double any armor unit except for Valentine's Ike, in which case run Swordbreaker, so all she needs is the extra defense to take the counter attack. 10th build, Adapt to the Surtur meta. This is a more direct counter to green units, mainly Surtur. Wary Fighter prevents follow-ups, but with Sokati's Refine, Lyn has no worries. Since Sokati has Brash Assault, which gives her a follow-up, it will cancel Surtur's Wary Fighter and then the game will decide who doubles based on speed, something Lyn should always win. Triangle Depth will help Lyn deal more damage and save her from a green hit if needed. Wrath will also contribute more damage and Luna can take on Surtur's high defense. Flashing Blade is recommended to proc Luna faster. And that's all the builds I have for this video. In the future, there will be more skills to give away, so Lyn will have more options. These are the builds that I thought worked well. If you have your own Lyn build, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more Fire Emblem Heroes content, and leave a like. Also follow me on Twitter at exile_ty for updates and reactions. With all that, stay hydrated folks, and remember,
The enemy!
thanks for watching.